allegations. So are you waiving those rights and entering a plea?
I just want, I'm wondering if you could give me a chance to show you that.
Yeah, you can come into treatment court. That's how you get your chance.
Can I do the ISP?
No.
Because the treatment court.
It's the exact same thing. It's I'm seeing you almost just as much. It's like one more meeting a month to do treatment court.
Oh, really? Well,
I mean, it's not, what else in ISP? He's got to go to therapy. He's got to do all of those things. He's got to come in. He's got a drug test. He may or may not have a peer recovery coach. He's got to come in and see me once a month instead of once every 2 weeks.
Right.
Am I correct?
Yeah.
I mean, the bond conditions, I'm confident, are basically the same thing.
Oh, I thought I had to come in 2 times. I thought I had to come in 2 times every 2 weeks.
It's about right. I mean, but that's not much different than ISP.
Is it? So, okay, well then let's just do the treatment court then. I'll do whatever.
I mean, they're both a lot. I mean, I just don't want you to think like, oh, I don't want to do. I mean, here's the thing. The first thing is, Mr. Ellis, you have a drug problem.
Of course, yeah.
Okay,
yes,
so
yes,
I'm gonna guess. I'm just gonna use my crystal ball that on the days you admitted to these using like literally all the drugs. When you did this, you probably drove up to the court to drug test. And you're here because you had an operating on the presence of drugs, and you had literally all the drugs in your system that you had to, that when you tested on these tests, that's all in your system on the day of this incident. So and you came in here to me and lied to this court and said, I'm clean, I don't do drugs anymore. And then you've been up to the court twice, drug testing positive for the same drugs that got you in front of me in the first place.
Well, that's what the drug that they gave me to wean off was a benzo.
Sir, you admitted, according to these allegations, you admitted to using Xanax, Klonopin, marijuana, and Suboxone.
Yes, I admitted.
Do you want to give a hearing or do you want to enter a plea of guilty to these?
I don't know.
Okay, well, you have 2 options. Let's go over them. You have the right to a lawyer appointed at public expense. You've already waived that and asked that Mr. Fanto not be here. Is that accurate? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. You would have a hearing. You have a right to a contested violation hearing. The evidence against you must be disclosed. The evidence would likely be, in this case, the drug test and whatever statements you made to probation. You have the right to be present at the hearing, to present evidence, and to examine and cross-examine witnesses. And the court may consider only evidence that is relevant to the violation, but it need not apply the rules of evidence except for those pertaining to privilege. Like, I couldn't ask about what conversations you had with your attorney or your therapist or things like that. And that the prosecutor would have the burden of proving the violation by a preponderance of the evidence. That's like 51%. Okay, it's not beyond a reasonable doubt like in criminal cases. Do you understand all of that?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay, she got to take down what you say, sir. All right. So to the allegation that you tested positive for benzos, marijuana, buprenorphine on 3/11 and 3/19, how do you plead?
I plead guilty.
All right. Did you admit to using Xanax, Klonopin, marijuana, and Suboxone?
Yes.
And did you admit to utilizing fake urine on the 3/19 drug test?
Yes. I'm prescribed Suboxone.
Why would you use fake urine?
I'm prescribed because I knew that if you use fake urine and you put some in, because I was comfortable and I didn't want to stop taking the Xanax. That's why, because it was comfortable. It was more comfortable for me to just in my Xanax, under the influence of the Xanax, it was more through the.
How many Xanax you take today?
I don't take any. I didn't take any. The only thing, if you could break that down, there would be no Xanax in my system. Librium I took 1 this morning, and my last dose is tomorrow morning. That's the last dose of the wean down script. I went to the hospital.
But why the fake urine again? I mean, we don't care if you have Suboxone.
Because I was worried about going through drug court. Honestly, because I didn't know what it was and I had no clue. I was scared.
Mr.
It was
Ellis.
stupid. It was stupid.
Mr. Ellis, how old are you?
I'm almost 40. I'm 38 years old.
All right. It seems to me like you got a problem. Can we admit to that?
Yeah,
Can
I
we
have a
agree
problem.
on
Yes,
that?
we have.
You have a serious substance use problem.
Yeah. And
Okay, one
I've
second.
done,
You've done what?
I've done a lot of work over the last 2 years, and the only reason that I started to take the Xanax was I was trying to wean myself off of the Suboxone when I first got back from Florida. Over the last 2 years, I was clean for over a year and 3 months. I stopped taking bipolar medication, two different depression medications, and then I got home and I was like, look, I'm gonna get off of the Suboxone. I wanted to quit taking Suboxone too. It was my last chain, and I took the Xanax to try to wean myself off, and in the process I didn't, and then I ended up just taking Xanax. But I wasn't getting blacked out because I was.
Is that your standard?
No,
I
it's
mean,
not
but
my
do you
standard.
understand that that's,
I completely, yes, I
mean,
completely understand.
I want
I
to know,
completely
Mr.
understand.
Ellis, in your current state, I want to know if you can hear the words coming out of your mouth. And does it make you recognize, like, I am
I know
desperate?
I have a
I
problem.
am desperate for help.
I know I have a problem, and I'm desperate for, and I I'm not really desperate for help. I have Christ.
How's that working out?
I have
How's that
Christ.
working out?
You know what?
How's that working
I
out?
don't know. I don't
Doesn't
know.
look good.
Have
you ever heard this
today,
joke? No, listen to me. Have you ever heard this joke about like a guy who wants God to come save him and there's a flood?
No,
And
I don't
listen,
make jokes
I'm
about
telling
God.
a joke.
I don't
No,
listen to jokes.
okay.
God.
You're gonna listen for a minute. And the guy sits on the roof and someone comes with a boat and they go, hey man, get in, I'm gonna help you get out of here. No, I'm waiting for God. Then a helicopter comes. No, I'm waiting for God. And then whatever else comes, a raft. No, I'm waiting for God. Right? And then he dies in the flood and goes to heaven. And he's like, God, why didn't you help me? God said, I sent a rope. I sent a helicopter. I sent a raft and you didn't take any of them.
Understand.
Right?
I understand.
Like God doesn't come down personally and fix problems for you.
I understand.
If that's what
you know what,
believe.
and you're right, and you know what, you're right. You're right.
So maybe this is the raft.
This is the raft. You're right, and I think I'm just angry, and I'm sorry. I just because I've been going through treatment for so long, you know what I mean, and I'm doing wonderful. I really am.
No, you're not. I mean, you're not doing wonderful.
I really
I mean,
am.
you have a stable
like my life
employment, you
is
have a
doing,
job.
like I'm doing great. Besides, in like even coming off of the Xanax, I'm doing wonderful. Like my taper was going great. I feel great.
You look like you're still in active addiction. Like you have the face of someone who's actively using you.
Really?
Yeah, really. I mean, I think maybe you're stressed out. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. I've got you on this violation for literally doing every single one of the drugs that you drove a car under when you were here. I'm limited by the jail task force legislation. I'm inclined to give you the maximum, which would be 93 days. I'm not allowed to do that anymore. I can only give you 5 days for the violation, right? That's the max I can give you under law. And then Kara spends this time, we meet after you were here last time to go through the effort to screen you for treatment court, see if you're eligible. You certainly are, need it. You're definitely high risk, high needs. There's no doubt about that. And now we have to make a decision. I mean, you want to stay on standard probation? Here, I'll tell you what'll happen. I have a crystal ball. I'll give you 5 days today. I'll see you in a couple weeks. That or you'll abscond and you'll get 10 days for your next positive. And then you'll get 15.
So I'll come back in a couple weeks and do my 5 days.
No, I'm telling you, on standard probation, I can't just tell you, you go to jail now and we're just done. I'm closing your file, right? I can't do that. I'm not allowed to.
Okay.
So you stay on standard, you're going to continue to violate because you're not getting the treatment you need and the services you need. And ultimately, we're just delaying me giving you the 93 days until the law says I'm allowed to. You're going to continue to violate. You're going to, I'm talking, you're going to continue to use, and eventually you'll get to 4 and I'll give you the 93 days, right? That's option 1, because that's what I can do. And option 2 is treatment court. And a treatment court, maybe you'll actually get the stuff you need. And what do I think you need?
I said, I know what I need. I mean, if so, do I go to jail today?
What are you, we're talking about your 5 days. Well, that's your first problem.
That's what I'm asking.
But what are we doing afterwards? Am I keeping you on standard? Are you going into treatment court?
Nope, standard.
Okay, standard it is.
And I would like to request that he get a substance use and probation.
All right, so I need the probation orders. You're gonna stay on standard doing 5 days today. Then I'll see you when you get out. He's going to drug test on.
I don't have my Suboxone.
Okay.
Today is my point.
Has access to that. I'm writing it on your paperwork. What else? What's the other thing you're taking to tighten it up? What is it? Librium?
And you have a pen. Is to undergo mental health eval. These are the terms of your probation that I'm modifying. He's doing a mental health eval. He's doing a substance abuse eval. What's the highest drug testing color we have?
Fuchsia.
Fuchsia. He's to test on fuchsia. What color is he on now?
Fuchsia.
He's on fuchsia since we were going to do the back continuance today.
All right. Anything else, Ms. Grasso, that you think's appropriate?
Nope.
I don't think he's ready for a peer recovery coach. I think he needs to be referred, but hopefully the evaluation will make determinations on that. I'm making a note for the bond paperwork that that you're going to need Suboxone. And I did write gabapentin and Librium. I don't know
Need
what.
to contact my employer.
They'll let you make a phone call back. All right. Anything else? All right. Can I get your appearance?
Jeffrey Fant on behalf of Ms. Boyce.
Miss Boyce, you were supposed to be here at 10:30 a.m. and you weren't here.
I know, I'm so sorry. I thought it was tomorrow. That's why I called right away when I figured it out.
What time did you call?
At 12:30.
Well, we had complaining witnesses present on these cases today, and they sat here waiting for you to show up on these cases. One of these cases, you've been in warrant status twice on. That's 0902. You had a payment plan. I give you a payment plan of $50 a month. Have you been making payments?
No, I haven't. I don't have a job right now. I've been looking, but I've been helping my daughter take care of her baby, but I've been looking for a job. But see, I don't have a car, so I got to look closely, a place close where I can walk to or take a bus. And so it kind of lowers my, places to get a job.
Yeah, well, I think you're a flight risk. You don't come to court. I have another one from November of 22 for an assaultive crime that you never came to court on. And you've been in bench warrant status on that for 1 year and 3 months. Like, you don't show up. You've got
Well,
tickets that are unpaid. You're driving a car when you're not supposed to. You just like, you know, you want the court to make all these exceptions for you. You've got a criminal history dating back to when I was in high school. Your criminal record starts when I was 16.
and
And you don't seem to take any of this seriously.
no,
And you
yes,
don't
I
seem to
believe me, I
think
take it
I'm
seriously.
No, you don't take it seriously. You've been in warrant status for years on assaultive cases. That's a
Well,
fact.
that one will get
That
dismissed
is
because
a
I did not
fact.
hit her. My daughter's not going to show up for court because I did not hit her. She lied.
You could turn yourself in person. You could turn yourself in. We could set you a court date. You have $100 bond on the $100 cash bond on the driving while license suspended. That's 24034302. And you need to come up to court and pay that.
Yeah. I could probably do that on probably around the 15th. I can get the money for that.
All right, well, you'll be in warrant status until that time.
Okay. But I could just go into the courthouse with the $100 and then
Yeah, and then you'll come see me, and then we'll set a court date.
okay. But go to the police station with money, right? Or do I go to the
No, you
courthouse?
come to the court, ma'am. You come to the court.
Okay. Okay.
You're all set. You're in warrant
Okay, thank
status,
you, ma'am.
and you'll remain in warrant status until you come into the building.
Okay.
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you, ma'am.
Jeffrey Fant on behalf of Mr. Planga, day's time, date set for sentencing. We reviewed the pre-sentence report. Same appears to be factually accurate. We did have a chance to speak with the court in chambers and asked the court to adopt consistent with our conversation.
Okay, so Mr. Tonga, did you tell your mom on your ride home how you behaved to court staff?
Yeah, she knows.
Okay, was she proud of you?
No.
Okay, I know you're 21 and young, but there are certain places where you're on your best behavior. And like, if you're not on your best behavior in those places, it makes it scary for the world to me. How do you behave in a library or a mall? If you behave that way in a courtroom, right? Do you just light things on fire while you're like running through buildings, right? How you behave in here, that is a reflection of, you know, who you are. Because everyone that comes to court is generally on their best behavior. I don't know if that's your best behavior. It scares me. Your total amount due is going to be $675.
Okay.
That's a fine of 50, court cost of 50, state cost of 50, plus a victim's rights fund of 75. Those are mandated by the state of Michigan. And then you have your probation oversight fees. That'll actually be. So the total is $675. You are gonna, you took a plea agreement under 771 for that 12 months. So it has to be 12 months because that's what the agreement was, okay? But I don't think you need real intensive, you know, terms. So the sentence will be delayed under 771 for a period of 12 months pursuant to the plea agreement. You must abstain from the use of possession or alcohol or controlled substances unless prescribed by a physician, and documentation is provided to the probation department. You may be subject to random drug and alcohol testing at your expense. I'm not going to make you do the anger management, even though I think you need it.
Okay.
But I am going to make you do the substance abuse education class. You're 21. Like, I think there are things you would benefit, like you could benefit you in that program. Like, it might be helpful for you to know that like drinking and driving is bad, right? And drinking from a passenger seat and bringing alcohol into a car is like illegal. It's not, and like, we don't have to agree. There are lots of laws that you might not agree with, but it's a law and you have to follow it. So I think the class might be good for you because maybe it'll give you a little bit of mindfulness, help you just make.
We just weren't drinking about. I just had it in the car. I drove this car home.
There was no allegation. Well, you're trying to say.
Said that he was drinking in the car.
They let me drive his car home because my friend got pulled over. And I said the bottle was mine. 'Cause I was.
Where's the bottle?
Please.
He poured it out and put it back in the car.
What's a bottle of?
Ciroc vodka.
Where was it at in the car?
Yeah, it was
Under the
passenger.
front, under the front passenger seat, I think. if I
Yeah.
recall correctly.
Okay.
It just didn't have a cap.
Didn't have a cap.
It didn't have a cap on it, so they called it open intoxicated. We weren't drinking.
The seal was broken.
Okay. All right. You're gonna go to the substance abuse education class. It's just a few hours. Maintain employment and provide proof. You have any outstanding bench warrants?
Think maybe.
If you do, you'll clear them up
Yeah.
within the year. No driving without a valid license. And that'll be it, okay?
Okay,
Thank you, Judge.
thank you.